Punjab has 13 seats in the Lok Sabha and is headed for a tough four-cornered contest. Apart from the traditional opponents, the Congress and the Shiromani Akali Dal, since 2014, the Aam Aadmi Party has become the third force to reckon with. The BJP has been contesting elections in Punjab for the past 30 years in collaboration with the Shiromani Akali Dal as its junior partner. This time, however, it is going solo in these elections and has fielded candidates on all the 13 seats. We have with us the state BJP president, Mr. Sunil Jakhar. Welcome to The Print, sir.
Thank you, Chitleen ji.
3 weeks to go before polling. How is the BJP poised for its first full-scale parliamentary battle in Punjab?
Raring to go, I would say. I think BJP workers were really behind this decision that we should not get into any further alliance with Akali Dal, especially the way both alliance partners had parted the company on such a bitter note. And also now, I think the Akali Dal has not yet come to accept the reality. They are still living in a gaga world of their own. So I think ever since this, though the decision came a bit later, but I think the decision was based upon the feedback from the workers that let's go in for a full-scale attempt. Because even I've realized, though I'm new to this party, now I've been here for 2 years, yes. Maybe as a president of BJP, now almost a year now. Yes. But there may not be a party structure in all the 13 Lok Sabha constituencies. But let me tell you from a personal experience, though I have realized that BJP sympathizers were everywhere, but now I know that there are people who are committed to the ideology, the principles, they really believe in BJP. They are committed to BJP's ideology. And let's not talk about 13 constituencies. I think BJP supporters are in every household. And when I say household, I think BJP has a very strong base among the women voters.
Is it true for the rural areas as well? Because BJP was always depending on the Shiromani Akali Dal cadre for its hold in rural areas.
Yes, that's true there also, because I think why are you asking this question? I think this question is based upon this kind of what we are facing today in Punjab, especially this renewed, altogether a new farm agitation which has taken shape. And I think, but that is limited to a very certain section of people. I would not even say farmers. Yes, there are grievances, but the grievances, farmers nowhere are in a comfort zone. It's not just in Punjab, not just in India. I think across the world, you have seen most of the European capitals had farmers driving in with the tractors into Paris, Belgium, like everywhere, Brussels, Frankfurt saw it all. Every major city in the world has had it. So there is a genuine problem the farmers are facing. The farmers want to have a better life. But I think what is happening here in Punjab is that this issue needs to be addressed thoroughly with open mind, not on a stereotype, because there's a totally different set of demands now what was earlier. I was on the forefront when we were campaigning against those 3 farm laws, and eventually they had to be withdrawn. But now what is being done today is, I have my own views. I do not agree that these are neither have they identified what are the problems, nor the solutions that they are suggesting or what they are seeking from the government. It is not going to address the problems of the farmer, especially in Punjab. I'm just containing myself just to issues which Punjab farmer is facing.
I wanted to ask these questions later in the interview, but since you have touched upon the farmers' agitation, how do you differentiate between the Singhu border agitation versus the Shambhu border agitation, the part 2 of the agitation? In your press conferences, you've been alleging or hinting at a more conspiratorial or a more sinister design behind the Shambhu agitation.
I've added this conspiracy theory based on certain things, and especially what has happened recently in Patiala, where a farmer died of natural reason, which was tried to be portrayed as that he has been pushed around and bashed, or that's why he died. But if you look at the genesis of this whole thing, this what you call Shambhu border agitation, it wasn't even meant to be Shambhu border. If you recall, the farmers were planning to march to Chandigarh. That's where the conspiracy comes in. You would recall they wanted to come to the governor's house. They wanted to come here and sit in front of the chief minister's house. But all of a sudden, those plans were dropped. I don't know what kind of arrangement was made, what kind of pressurized them to divert their attentions toward Delhi. And that's where now they are sitting. And some young man has died there. I think everybody feels sad about it. But I think people who have indulged in this, whether it is the police or some other miscreants, or whether it is some sort of a planned thing that this pellets were used. I don't think police uses pellet, which has been found in his autopsy. But at the same time, I think farmers are being kind of instigated to this. Youngsters are being instigated. Those people who are trying to provoke them, they are equally responsible, though there is a court of inquiry monitored by the High Court, and I hope that the decision comes, it should be a transparent, fair judgment, whosoever, whether it is on the Haryana side or whether it is somebody else who has intervened. But young man should not have lost his life. And for what purpose? Because the basic question, what Punjab farmers are asking for? Punjab farmers are asking for a guarantee for MSP. They are getting the MSP. Other states, I can very well assume that yes, if it was happening in Bihar or some other places where there is no MSP, farmers would have been agitating. But why in Punjab? Not a single grain of this produce now that the wheat crop is in the mandis. It has every grain, even before it reaches, it is purchased. The problem is lifting it, transporting it, and storage space. This is not the job of the central government. They are agitating on the wrong side. So this is where I believe that they are being misled. Call it conspiracy, call it something working behind the scene, and obviously in this melee of this whole thing, the political opponents of the BJP are trying to encash on it. So they are trying to use the farmers. But there are dangerous repercussions. I think farmers need to sit down, step back, and look at the whole thing if they really want to have this issue sorted out.
Personally, as a BJP leader now, and do you feel your father, Mr. Balram Jakhar, was one of the pioneers, a legendary man, pioneer of the Farmers Union. In 1965, he created the first Farmers Union in India. So personally, do you feel that there are certain issues beyond the politics of it, like the Lakhimpur Kheri issue, and some like the people who were booked in cases in Delhi while they were protesting by the police, and the kind of extraordinary measures that the Haryana government took this time to stop them from marching to Delhi? So you think that there is still some kind of resonance among the farmers back in Punjab on these issues?
Yes, there is. That's what I'm saying. There are issues, but to call it farm agitation 2.0, I think is not fair. Because I personally, either I am totally got it all wrong, or they have not really understood. Because that time it was a matter of survival. It was the apprehension in my mind when I was the first one who raised the bogey. I have the exact dates when I started, but not the Singhu border, the day the farm bills were kind of, this came in on 5th of July or June that it had come. And I was the first one who called Congress MLAs. I was then the leader of opposition. I called I was then the Congress president. I called all the MLAs. Nobody took me seriously. We had about 80 MLAs. I had to call them in 3 batches because nobody would turn up. I called them once, I called them twice, I called them third time to explain what it implies, what these laws are meant to be, before I could really gather them or get their full attention that this is something which could go to the very roots of our society, our economy, our whole farming way of life will be gone. Because even I may be I don't call myself illiterate, but I'm not really the know-all. But what I realized was that this will eventually lead to taking away of the MSP regime. But now it's not the issue. And it is not because anybody has given a guarantee. The situation is such, and I think the world has seen it, because this is now a geopolitical kind of issue. It's not really the Ukraine war. You have seen how everybody was clamoring for wheat. because they are one of the major suppliers and they're still at war at each other's throat. Then now recently came this Yemen thing that they were going to stop all the ships passing through their catchment areas. And also what is happening with the weather. So all these things now make it imperative for any government, with or without any guarantee, that nobody in the foreseeable future can think about cutting off the MSP. If they want to, it is as food security is more important than our border security, I would say. So I think nobody can touch this MSP. MSP is going to remain here. So this fear is misplaced today. Farming is sacrosanct. You cannot, the moment farming word comes in, and all these people, they are masquerading behind this farm. They are charlatans, I would say, these political parties who are riding on this bandwagon. They don't really know. I've asked in one of my interactions with the press, I said, I challenge this Congress LOP or the Congress president who claim to be a farmer, who are now backing the farmer. I asked them that would they give up paddy for bajra, which they are asking for, that they should be given 23 crops, should be given MSP. Let them suggest which particular crop they would like to change, shift from paddy into other. And I will assure that guarantee. Otherwise, I will resign. I will, from politics, I will go and sit with them in Dharna in Delhi. But none of them, because it is not the crops. It is not the, it is basically the problem is income. It is the price differential in paddy. Income from paddy is almost double than any other crop which can be grown in this climatic condition. Our soil condition, our climatic conditions. Then why are they asking for 23? Who is this agitation taking place? Not for Punjabi farmers. If they are fighting battle for Madhya Pradesh or battle for West Bengal, why don't I see people from West Bengal? If they are worried about Lakhimpur Kheri, nobody can condone what had happened there. And I think the guy who has gone to jail is out on bail and justice will prevail. But why aren't people in Lakhimpur Kheri as agitated as people are? Why is the Shubh Karn has to die from Punjab? I believe they have as brave people sitting there.
How are your candidates dealing with it? Like in most of the candidates have been heckled, have been disrupted, their campaigns have been disrupted. So initially I saw that they used to avoid it or try to run away from it. So is there a change in strategies to counter the farmers, to try and satisfy them, to give them answers?
No,
because they have a list of these 11 questions.
You cannot have a meaningful discussion with one guy, a candidate or three of his supporters are standing there and a whole crowd is heckling down or shouting at him. I understand it is, yes, it is everybody's right, it's democratic right. Nobody denies that they can ask questions. But you don't have the authority to get an answer. If nobody is answering it, you should take that as an answer. Then you do whatever is democratically possible. Democracy is about, like, you have authority that you can vote them out. Okay, vote them out. You heckle them, you bang on their car, or you charge at them and you kind of rush onto them. Obviously, these situations lead to confrontation. I've had I've complained to the Election Commission. I said, please ensure a fair playing ground for everybody. Give them a space where they can hold their meeting, they can say whatever their demand they are raising.
Coming back to politics, the Aam Aadmi Party is saying that it is going to win all the 13 seats in Punjab. And Mr. Kejriwal is also now back from jail, and that seems to have given a major fillip to their campaign. Where, if at all, has the Aam Aadmi Party failed Punjab?
On every aspect, you tell me, where have they succeeded? Only, I think, front which they have succeeded in fooling the people of, like, taking them for a ride. Yesterday only I was talking to somebody, I was like, some American has told me, he said, Mr. Jakhar, do you know the difference between a con man and a professional con man? And I said, of course, maybe he's a bit more sophisticated. He said, no, there's a distinct difference between a con man. I said, okay, tell me. He said, a con man is one who takes you for a ride. And by the time you realize you have been had, he disappears. I said, okay, and what is a professional? He said, a professional con man takes you for a ride, he disappears, but he reappears again after a while on the scene, convinces you that you were wrong, and he takes you for a ride all over again. This is what Kejriwal Sahab is doing now. He has taken Punjab for a ride, and he's selling Punjab model. Today I heard his guarantees. He's projecting himself as a pan-India leader, that I promised the people of India, 140 crore people, I promised them free electricity. Nobody checks what is happening in Punjab. Punjab is kind of dying under the burden of this debt. No farm guy is sitting in the village on his sat in the village, sitting there, doesn't realize what is 1 lakh crore or 3 lakh crore, or Punjab is under something like 5 lakh crore debt altogether, institutional and guarantees that they're given. But if we tell them that Mr. Kejriwal is taking loan to the tune of 130 crores, 130 करोड़ रुपए रोज के कर्जा ले रहे हैं ताकि ये मुफ्त बिजली का ड्रामा चलाया जा सके. And when you tell them, it opens their eyes. This is what is happening. Punjab doesn't have the resources. And now what is promising, I think, in simple terms, forget about economics, forget about anything else, is a dictum in everybody's know of it is, don't try to live beyond your means. They are trying to behave as if he's king of Saudi Arabia. We are running out of water. He is behaving, giving out all these freebies. Who's going to pay for it? Somebody will have to pay for it. Where is the money going to come from? He says, 1.25 lakh crore rupees lagega. 1.25 lakh crore rupees, you're talking about peanuts or what? Today he was saying that I know where the money is going to come from. Where are the resources? He said the same thing about Punjab. I know there is a scope for raising 20,000 crore from the sand mining. I will raise those 20,000 crore. He said 40,000 crore from the liquor I will get. Maybe he is still getting the money. He was right. He knew that there is money being siphoned off. But that money is not reaching the government treasury. It is going to Delhi, and that's why he landed up in Tihar. Punjab doesn't have money. Punjab is like dying under this debt, this bleeding every day. Like I think what he is trying to sell to other people, he is taking them for a ride, and I call him a professional conman. I know, I agree with this thing. Bhagwant Mann used to introduce Kejriwal Saab knows, because he was in income tax, where is the money and how to get it. Yes, I agree with him 100%. Bhagwant Mann knows too well where the money is. He knows it extremely well how to get it out. But I think where the money goes, that the public doesn't know. That's what I think ED is trying to find out, where has that money gone.
Your shifting from the Congress was not an easy shift. I remember we had talked about it that time also. It was not an impulsive overnight kind of decision which you took. You gave a long, rope to the Congress High Command. What were you thinking then, and in hindsight, what do you think that you should have shifted earlier or?
Earlier, no. I have nothing about earlier. No, there was no reason for me to, because I believed in where I was. I believed in Rahul Gandhi. I believed in Congress Party. I believed, to me, it was a religion. It is dharam parivartan. Let's be honest. This was for me, dharam parivartan, not an easy thing. 50 years. And then all of a sudden, the very basis of my identity is being questioned. They are asking me, "Aap kis dharam kyo?" Nobody asked me. Nobody, even once Badal Sahab in the assembly had asked me as a leader of opposition, he asked me to speak in Punjabi. I said, who are you to tell me whether I'll speak in Punjabi? In fact, I come from an area we have the distinction, or we live in this infamy that we had to prove our Punjabiyat. My area about Fazilka is that area which had to go through the linguistic survey to prove that we are Punjabis. And Badal Sahab gets up and says, Jakhar Sahab, Punjabi che bolya karo. Tu Punjabi changi bol lendi. I said, yes, I do speak Punjabi better than. I said, test Sukhbir Badal and me. He would fail because he has studied in Lawrence School in Snawar. They don't have Punjabi in the syllabus. He would fail and I would pass with flying color. But you cannot tell me, because Punjab, everybody has, I speak Hindi, Punjabi. And Lakshmikanta Chawla ji was sitting there. She was their minister that time, health minister. I said, thank your stars that she doesn't get up and speak in Sanskrit, because at times she would speak in Sanskrit. We are a secular state. We are Guru Baba Nanak Dev ji told us, Manas ki jaat sab ke pehchan bhi. And the Congress CWC member comes and says, yahan pe Hindu ko aage kar diya to aag lag jayegi. Has Sunil Jakhar become a machis ki dabbi all of a sudden? And why I think now that I have many times heard, Sunil, what have you done? Maybe you got carried away by your own this thing. I was so annoyed. But I had tried to think about it, what has happened and what not. But then, what has Congress done since then? That is the thing which I think gives me a sense of relief. Sunil, you were right. Because all those culprits who started this tirade about if a Hindu is pushed as a leader, Punjab, it's like playing with fire in Punjab. All of them, all main personas, main villains of this dirty scenario was Mr. She remains, Ambika Soni remains the CWC member. She has not been removed. This Channi that you are talking about, he has been made a CWC member in spite of ruining Punjab, himself losing from two, not one constituency, from two constituencies, losing his deposit. Another main character has been made the PCC president. Another main character has been made the in charge of Rajasthan. So, and not even once have they apologized, and all along for 6 months from the time it happened, sometime in September, I think it was, they asked me who I am. 6 months till the time I was thrown out or given a show cause notice I kept saying that this is not a policy of Congress party. This is a statement by Ambika Soni. This is thinking of those kind of a petty-minded people who have crawled their way onto the high position. I have a tweet which is right there. And I was given a notice for that. Rather than giving a notice to these people that you are challenging the very secular character of Congress party. Nobody has, and the Congress still has not answered it. And let me tell you, Chitleen ji, I'm not into predictions or anything. I think they blamed me that Sunil's utterances led to the downfall of Congress. Let me tell you on record on your video, Congress will keep going down further till such time they come out and explain their position on what Ambika Soni said. Is it their policy that a Hindu or a non-Sikh can never even aspire to be in the leading position? Or is it Ambika Soni's thing? They have not yet clarified. And I challenge today. I'm not into this challenging business, but this is the way to say it. I asked them, let's put it this way, that why don't they send this senior Hindu leader of Mrs. Gandhi's confidant to go and campaign for these three people who are, luckily, I would say luckily, because this is a time I will have to expose all three of them. They are all three here now contesting. That why don't they send her to come and explain what she meant and see what happens to them. All three of them will lose their deposit if she comes here and says this thing again. These kind of fake frauds have come in. They do not realize the difference between religious hypocrisy and religious faith. This is all hypocrisy that they have done. They exploited this sentiment. They tried to breach this communal amity which Punjab is known for their vested interest. Luckily, they did not succeed. And for this, I am indebted to Gyani Harpreet Singh ji. He was the Akal Takht Jathedar, only person who spoke against, and I think he was the most apt authority when they raised this issue, only a Sikh can be the chief minister. He was the one, Akal Takht Jathedar, who said the next day that no, being a Hindu or Sikh does not matter in Punjab. It has to be a capable, able person who should lead Punjab. What a golden statement which should be written in golden words. This is what Punjab is all about, and Congress will not succeed in Punjab till they come out clean. Either they disown, like they have disowned Mr. Sam Pitroda or the Mani Shankar Iyers. This is the problem with the Congress. This is why I feel relieved now that Sunil, you haven't done any blunder.
Organizationally, how is BJP different from the Congress?
First of all, the commitment. Maybe Congress is too old and their people have kind of lost interest and all this zeal from freedom struggle to all these things have kind of let go. New sort of, the people like these ones, the one I refer to as creeped their way up to the higher level. They have let this party down. Whereas BJP has a very strong, ideologically committed people who have dedicated their lives. This is their strength. Somebody can question them about their ideological commitments, but they are committed 100%. That nobody can doubt, that they are committed and they work for it 24/7. This is the basic difference. And they're very structurally organized. Everything, it has its own pluses and minuses. But yes, there's a seed of a difference between the way BJP works. They plan ahead, they implement their plans, they wear their ideology on the sleeves. Whereas the Congress is still trying to kawa chala, ski chal sort of a thing. They have lost their own identity in the process.
You mentioned Lakshmikanta Chawla. One of the main criticism against the BJP is also that for these elections you have borrowed candidates from other parties while your own old guard leaders have been ignored.
No, they have not been ignored. We were fighting only 3 constituencies, 23 Vidhan Sabha and 3 of these constituencies. So there are 94 constituencies where we did not have leaders. Maybe they did not get a chance to bloom into a full-scale leadership role because of Big Brother sort of influence of Badal Sahab or the Akali Dal. But where do you bring leaders overnight? Election would not wait for organizational leadership potential to catch up.
Protocols.
We had to, but why blame us only? Ask Congress is the oldest party. If BJP is the largest party in the world, then Congress is the oldest party in India. 7 of their 13 candidates are borrowed. Whom the PCC presidents call ek dafa jo gaddar hai wo hamesha gaddar rahega. I think he is trying to run down his own candidates. Mr. Supal Singh Khera has switched 3 times over. Miss Yamini Gomar is there. Mr. Dharampal Gandhi, you take it, name it. 7 of them are imports. They are blaming us. We are going in for those constituencies, and all these 3 constituencies, which we traditionally contested on our own. We have our own people. Gurdaspur, Hoshiarpur. Amritsar is totally new, but he's not an import from any other party. He just has finished his job. He's done an excellent job, and he has been rewarded, and he is aligned with Modi ji's thinking. So he has been given an opportunity. Nobody can say that he was a congressman. He is coming from a Akali background. His father was an only guy whose name is there in the Teja Singh Samundari Hall within the complex there. So these people are just finding faults in everything BJP does, but yeah, that's how it is. They are also indulging into the same tricks. Look at all of them. Aam Aadmi Party, what happened to the volunteers? They said this is a party of volunteers. Didn't they have enough volunteers now? All of a sudden the volunteer stock has finished. To an extent, it has depleted to an extent that Sunita Kejriwal had to step in her husband's role. Somebody would ask, I would ask, no, I cannot because I'm not in Aam Aadmi Party, but I think any of these Aam Aadmi Party leader would get up and say, aap hamare ho kaun? What role does she have? And they are talking about autocratic rule, they're talking about dictatorship rule. What is this? That you don't believe in your own leaders? Is Sanjay Singh not good enough? Raghav Chadha, I can believe that he just flew the coop because just before ED could catch up, he has just given a slip. But what about the other people? Though they have shunted out for such a situation, I think Kejriwal Sahab had planned it so well. That's why I'm saying he's a professional, I would say professional imandar. I don't want to call him a con man, but he is a professional imandar. I would say that he took care of every Kumar Vishwas, Prashant Bhushan, Yogendra Yadav, anybody who could faintly in the future could challenge him was shown the door. So today is only Sunita ji left. The poor lady had to come out and plead for Kejriwal Sahab, and all these guys are clapping there. What happened to the volunteerism? So they're all, I think people should see through this charade. This is what really agitates me. This is my problem. I look at it and they are trying to find faults in me. I'm saying, yes, I am what I am. You don't like me, sorry. This is either you take it or you dump me.
For almost 20 years that I've known you, you've always come across a gentleman politician. Your style of speaking, even campaigning, I've trailed you in Gurdaspur and other places, has been very mild and very one-to-one. While the political discourse in Punjab in the past few months has really gone to a new low, where families are being involved, personal attacks are being made. So how are you coping up with that?
No, I failed. I'm not a politician. That's my problem. And I think that's why But Badal Sahab had a great influence because When my father was in active politics, I was away from politics, not even near. And there were opportunities before that also. I said, sorry, I'm not cut out for politics. But then circumstances, that's another different story how I landed here. But I was here. And Badal Sahab was, I would say, I call him my Dronacharya. And I was the Eklavya because I was outsider. I was watching from far off. I watched him closely. I was influenced by his humility. I think our ideological differences leave that aside. But I've learned a lot from him. And I personally think, though I do get agitated now, this is my problem. I get agitated very quickly and I later on regret it. But somehow I could not put up with this. Hypocrisy is something which I don't like. These people, like they are all ripping off Punjab and they are worried about like filling in their coffers and claim to be Qattar Imandar. That we are 7 decades old democracy, but we still have not yet tried to. This is, if what they say, swal puchna adhikar hai. But then they should check themselves also. सवाल अपने से भी पूछे, उनसे भी पूछे, आप जिनसे पूछ रहे हो, whom you take as your idols. I think we will have a talk some other time. I have a lot to say about these things.
Thank you so much. It's always an honor to talk to you.
No, please don't. You are embarrassing me. I just got carried away. You had certain other questions, I think.
No, my questions are all finished. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.